So the question,
for these conversations.
what Peta talked about prior to us starting filming was, how do you deal with someone in a cafe saying something incorrect about diet and nutrition? Do you speak up or you don't?
Generally, I won't. I don't find it's an appropriate place to have a conversation with people around that sort of stuff, because I find it like actually entirely amusing. I often just sit there and smile to myself, and I'll either rant to myself in my mind as I walk away, or I do so on social media, which I did this morning. Got quite a bit of interaction, which is always fun, and not to dietitian like, I might have another one later. But yeah, I just leave it. I mean, unless they're going to give them the wrong advice, which is literally going to make them like kill them on the spot. Like, it's fine. I just think everyone's got their own view. I just don't like it when they actually sell a particular food, nutrient or product to be the one and only thing that's going to save their life. And I also don't like the fact that it could potentially have a negative impact. But I love the way that people go along about sprouting all these different things, and they talk about their lifestyle and they completely counter it as he walks out with coffee and donuts. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just find it amusing. So my take is, have a chuckle to yourself. If you need to offload, do it so in other ways, whether it be you ring up a colleague or you do a little post on social media to your own following. You just got to let it roll sometimes. It's not appropriate. It would be really awkward, and I probably wouldn't be able to go back to that cafe again. And we live on the Sunshine Coast, so it's a lot of conversation. What would you do?
Oh, in a public setting like that, I wouldn't say anything. Now, early years, if it was with social events where like I was just there with random people that maybe didn't know what I did and they would say bullshit, I would call them out on it and rip in, and then they find out what I do for a living and they're like, oh, okay. And they actually listen.
And in family and social events, the conversations will happen. And generally I just pretend like I don't know what they're talking about, or listen. I'm sitting there and I've listened to every single thing they've said. And again, internally chuckling until they go, oh, what do you think? And they often will do that, but they've formulated their own conversation opinion before they ask me the question. Like, one of them was I was talking to Tyson about yesterday, this vegan, part-time vegan, like ultra runner who follows a vegan diet mostly, but it's really hard because she has to eat so much food, and she's B12 deficient regularly, so she needs to go and have a steak every now and again. Now, if you're a true vegan, whatever that means.
Yeah, having a steak is like the antichrist.
And I was just sitting there listening to it, mildly amused by the conversation, because it was a table of people and they know what I do for a profession, but nobody ever engages in my advice. But then she happened to just go, oh, like, what are your thoughts about that? And I'm like, how do I gauge the response here? So I answered appropriately and said some smart things because, I know my stuff. Anyway. And her conversation after that, she was like, oh, well, maybe I should actually book an appointment with you. I was like, oh, yeah, that might be good, eh? So, yeah, I mean, that obviously went down really well. Not all situations go down like that. But generally, if you can say the right thing, you can appeal to them. You don't completely diss what they're doing, because that's not the way to win friends. It's the way to win enemies. And we can have a positive a positive impact in some situations. So, but yeah, pick your battles, pick your situation. Not always appropriate.
But now, like, I just avoid. I'm just like, do not ask me about what I'm eating, what you're eating. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care what you...
He has this face, and it's the face that he does when I ask him a question that he's so furious, I was going to swear, about the fact that I'm asking it again, and it's the same face. It's like
just like I already told you, shit. Why are you asking? Why?
It's not that face. It's different.
Oh, anyway. Yeah. I know the face.
I know the face.
I use it often. It's one of my most regular faces.
It's your RBF. Anyway.
But yeah, so if you're in a social setting of friends or randoms, you just got to choose what dietitian you want to be, or person you want to be. Really, it's just like, do you go at it?
Change your profession.
And most of the time, like, even if you blow up, people just they still have, like Peter said, their own agenda and their own opinion. And what you say is really not going to change it. A lot of them who are spouting that stuff believe so wholeheartedly that they're correct.
And 20% of that is probably going to work because,
Stupid.
you know, the placebo effect works for a little bit.
So it's just like, oh, I did it for my body. It's like, fuck off. Anyway, yeah.
Good question.